Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of MBTV Weekly Property Roundup. We bring to you top 5 developments from Indian real estate space that's going to have a lasting impact on you as a buyer. I'm Prasun Kumar, Marketing Head of Magicbricks, and with me is Jayashree Kurup, Senior Real Estate Journalist and Editor-in-Chief of MBTV. So Jayashree, welcome.
Thank you.
And an important news from Mumbai, where Homebuyers in HDIL's Nahur project are now finding plea in NCLAT. This is a sort of a clash happening between different nodal authorities in real estate, RERA, NCLAT and all. How do you see this developing further?
See, Prasun, I think right now the biggest problem that the real estate industry is facing is that RERA has the powers to give judgments, but the execution of those judgments have been extremely tardy, and there is no power to execute. Now that needs to be given to RERA if RERA has to be a better organization.
Right.
It is, and RERA clearly the mandate is to look after the interests of the home buyers and also get projects completed. Now, NCLT is a company law tribunal, and the whole purpose is to restructure the entire company. Now, if one project, and real estate is a very peculiar case, if one project is underperforming and one consumer of that project goes to NCLT, all projects across the board of that developer goes into resolution. Now an IRP is formed, 270 days are given, there's a council of creditors in which all the buyers have to be have a voting right. But in that entire process, what happens is even projects that were, there are some cases in UP, for instance, where there are only 3 lifts to be installed. Everything else was complete, but because it was
matter went to NCLT.
Matter went to NCLT and it got held up. Now this is a clash of authorities, and even among the consumers, there is a very large percentage of consumers who want their houses. A very large percentage, about 50% of consumers who don't want the houses anymore.
They want their money back.
They want the money back for various reasons. Either they could have been investors, and actually there's nothing wrong with being an investor in the real estate market. They invested their money, they wanted to exit. Absolutely. But the house has been delayed by 10-12 years, right? In that process, if the compensation has to be given, you get compensation for 12 years.
Right.
That is more than the cost of the house.
So
the investor finds it much more lucrative to take the money back. And another category of buyers who probably at that point of time were, they were bankable because they were working.
Right.
After 10-12 years, they may have retired.
Yes.
So they are not credit worthy, and they can't raise resources to complete buying.
Right.
So they want whatever they've put returned to them.
Yes.
Now, in this entire process, the NCDRC, the Consumer Redressal Forum, is entrusted with return of money. The NCLT is trusted with restructuring the company and getting getting value for all creditors, all lenders.
Yes.
And the third one, RERA, is entrusted with getting projects completed.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's the same industry.
Yes.
So it is a clash of all this that that we're seeing today.
Yes.
And it really needs a change of laws at the parliament level for all this to be settled.
Probably it also requires the jurisdictions to be clearly defined for all these nodal bodies, right?
Yes.
So that one doesn't overstep into other, and there is no confusion at the end, even for consumers or developers or anyone.
Today, everybody is confused.
That's right.
It is like the Wild West out there.
Yes.
Whichever body you think will give you the best results, just go there.
Yes.
And it's not a class action anymore. Each consumer is fighting for himself, and the body of consumers that are fighting to get their houses completed, they are being left out.
That's right. So and let's hope that government listens to this, and we have a clear-cut definition coming out, and people should ultimately know. And I know in past you have been talking about where to go if you have a certain kind of compliant, and who to approach, so that you do not end up approaching a wrong authority and delay things for. I think there is a lot of clarity that's required still there. Right?
Absolutely. In fact, these home buyers have taken up the cudgels and said, if we went to RERA, we met all the RERA regulations, happens, we've paid our money, roughly about 7.5 lakhs or so, they have already paid to RERA, and they were in resolution with RERA.
Yes, yes.
Then another law comes and knocks them down.
supersedes, yes.
So then they say that they have gone to court and they are challenging it.
Yes.
I think consumers are now becoming de facto lawyers.
Well, now staying in Maharashtra itself, MahaRERA has given homeowners power to complete stressed projects. Extremely good decision.
Very good decision. In fact, that comes to the same one. The association of allottees.
Yeah.
They are a powerful body. They can get projects through to completion. It's just that there has to be one receiver or a RERA regulator or a resolution professional who has to step in and say that I'm monitoring this so that there's no more hanky-panky in the system.
Yes.
So I think this is a good move, but even now, Prasun, unless the laws are spelt out, I don't know. We haven't seen too many going through to completion.
That's true. Now in Mumbai again, there was an interesting ruling, and I would want you to shed some light on this. Bombay High Court recently ruled that societies which took over redevelopment are not liable under RERA as a developer for free sale flats. Now, one is what are these free sale flats, and two is what is this entire case all about?
See, this is in Goregaon. There was a old in Bombay. You know that there is a lot of redevelopment happening.
Yes.
So 60 members of an old society, they approached a developer and went for redevelopment. Now, in this process, what happens is there's increased FAR, and which the developer can sell off as single units to new buyers.
Okay.
These are the free sale flats.
Okay.
Now, what happens is, and they could be either what the developer had, which is not unsold, they were only tenanted properties.
The leftover inventory.
Leftover inventory, or excess inventory because of the new FAR.
Okay.
Now, the developer has clearly sold it to new buyers, but he hasn't, about 10-12 years.
He didn't redevelop.
He didn't redevelop.
Okay.
Now, the old buyers, the people who were originally staying there and are now without a roof over their head, they approached the government and they said that let me allow the association of allottees to complete the project. A tower is ready, almost ready. When this tower is ready, they said that the first right of getting the houses is ours. And if there are 10-12 flats that are left over, they will sell that to get money to complete the rest of the project. Now, in this process, the guys who had bought from the developer who did not build, they are standing up and saying, but the original, the developer had promised us that we would get tower A, the first tower. Now, if everything had gone well, till then the tower B, tower C should have been constructed. Now, those guys, because they are miffed, they have said that the association of allottees should be considered
as the new owner,
a promoter, not an owner, as a promoter under RERA.
Okay.
And therefore, they should be liable to everything that a promoter is.
Okay.
That is what has been struck down, saying that if the buyers who gave in all good faith to redevelop their project, if that's not happening, they cannot be considered developers. They are just somebody who's executing, right, their own houses.
That's right.
And that's where this entire process.
So, this is another case where the insincerity on part of the developer has not only created trouble for legal owners of those redeveloped projects, but also the new ones who bought, right?
Absolutely.
Because they were not wrong. They bought legally. They paid money. So now they are staring at a place where a situation where they neither get the home nor get their money.
They probably will, but they'll get it slightly later, and that's where the entire clashes.
Okay. All right, so now let's move to Bangalore, and a good news coming from Bengaluru is that BBMP is now saying that there will be no pre-plan approval required for houses constructed in less than 2,400 square feet of land. Knowing that there was so much of corruption involved in approval of these construction plans, this will be a welcome relief.
Yes, because it's individual buyers, it's G+2. So there is only ground, first and second floors.
Right.
So therefore, if you...
so in all probability independent houses.
Independent houses. And assumption is that if there are building bylaws and an architect is involved and he's helping you draw out your building plans, that you would stick to the rules and you would apply, it's like a pre-approved plan. normally individuals were held up because they used to go to the authorities, and there's a lot of corruption that happens there to get just the pre-approval process.
Yes.
Here they can get their plans, upload it online or submit it in, and after that they start their construction.
Okay.
The authority will scrutinize these before giving the occupancy and the completion.
Okay.
So
there's some sort of a check process in which.
it's a check process, and the guy who's going to be involved and most responsible for this will be the architect and the chartered accountant.
All right. Okay. Okay. So that's a good news if this gets implemented.
Yeah.
Now moving to Delhi. Delhi is going to get its 4th construction waste plant by November. And considering that the amount of construction in and around now, I also want to link it to the entire discussion around construction to be stopped during the high pollution peak, etc. Now these construction waste plants, do they help in really recycling a lot of these things and helping?
Prasun, the process of what they call the CND, the construction and demolition waste, that it has to be reused, the laws have been made. A lot of this is not being implemented because there is very tardy execution on the ground. There were supposed to be waste dumps, CND waste dumps, where suppose you are getting a house redone, there will be a lot of demolition waste that comes.
Yes.
That is supposed to be dumped in the scheduled demolition waste bins. That goes to the demolition plants, and the municipal authority of in Delhi there are 4 waste plants. This is the 4th, I think, and these process that into pavers, into it is so a lot of stuff that you would otherwise dump in the waste landfills gets reused. And last year I think the CPWD also issued a order saying that you can use these reprocessed pavers in CPWD constructions, and some of it can actually be processed into members like a staircase or a toilet and things like that. So it's really a good move.
Yeah.
The thing is that you can have all the laws in the world.
But does it happen? I mean, I have never seen.
A lot of it happens. In the Burari plant, for instance, we did a show on this. In the Burari plant, for instance, there is a lot of pavers, and these are discounted pavers. They are not as expensive as the other ones. And today you know that a lot of sidewalks and all are being paved. So it can be done. It's gone into the schedule, so it can be purchased even by government authorities. But even now, it is a very slow process, not as much take up as you would like to. But will it reduce pollution? I don't think so, because the CND reprocessing plant itself generates so much dust.
No, because the point was that the pollution is not only air pollution. There are other kind of pollution as well, and if you dump a lot of concrete and steel and a lot of other material on a ground any which way, a lot of things seeps inside the soil as well, right?
That's right.
And that's one. But the question that I wanted to ask you is there awareness among public in general that there are these kind of plants and there is a way to dispose of construction?
Not enough. You need a lot of actually a massive public awareness campaign is required. And remember that we are talking only about Delhi, the NCT of Delhi. There is Noida, there's Greater Noida, there's Ghaziabad, Delhi, Gurgaon, where we don't even have these plants. So as a result, for it to be effective, see, we can draw boundaries.
Has to be part of this.
Yeah, you can draw boundaries on the paper, but actually it functions as a unified whole.
That's true.
So you really need to fix the entire problem.
All right, so viewers, this is it for this week. We'll come back again next week with top 5 developments from the Indian real estate space. Till then, keep watching MBTV.
And remember that now it is the interpretation of laws that's happening, and people like you are impacted. So keep a watch on this. It's important that you understand the ins and outs of the new laws. Thank you for watching.
Please subscribe to Magicbricks on YouTube and click on the bell icon to get more videos.